Guys, today, this is a special video, and I'm dressed accordingly. This is exactly how to build the female gaze physique, okay? We are finally gonna leave it all on the table in this video. If you're trying to get like Ronnie Coleman, if you're trying to get as big as possible, you're trying to get your pro card, this video is not for you, okay? It's gonna be irrelevant for you. But we're gonna build the most attractive physique as we can for the female gaze, because I know a lot of you guys are actually interested in that. And before we give away all the sauce, I will mention we have been on both sides of the coin and solve our clients, and that's when they come to us and we build them the physique that actually gets results in the real world. We were bloat cells, gym cells, not getting any results, the results we actually wanted, until we built a physique that actually looked fucking good, man. Like, it looked all right. And it's okay to watch this, and it's okay to build a physique for vain reasons, for getting more results with dating. That's fine, okay? There's nothing to be ashamed of. Let's just admit what we want. That's the first step. So if this is what you want, what do? Step one, work out what actually is it. So here's the checklist. I believe it's about 21 to 23 FFMI. That is the fat-free mass index. There's calculators online, there's plenty of ways you can work it out. 21 to 23, it's not massive, but it's athletic. It does require a lot of time in the gym, don't get me wrong. Some guys that are at a genetic disadvantage, hard gainers, will actually have to spend 3-4 years in the gym to get to this level of muscle mass, but it's naturally achievable for almost everyone, and it's a nice middle ground. You don't look scrawny, but you also don't look like a bodybuilder, and that's great. That's exactly what they're looking for. They want an effortless physique, and I believe 21 to 23, you can almost act as if you don't try that hard. Even if you do, it doesn't look like you're trying that hard. Number two, it's 9 to 12% body fat. A lot of you guys just got very angry, and I know you guys in the comments like to say 14, 15% is optimal. Okay, it might be optimal in terms of strength, in terms of how you feel in the gym, but if you want to look good in natural lighting, in candid scenarios, you will look fat at 15%, man. At the beach, you've got no abs, you've got no veins, you've got no structure, you've got no separation in anything, and you may look good under a gym downlight. Sure, you can fraud all you want and look a lot leaner than you really are, but in candid scenarios, which we'll get into, when you're framing your physique for the female gaze, 9 to 12% will just objectively look the best. There's literally no argument there. It's not hard to maintain a physique in this body fat percentage range. It really isn't that hard. It's only hard when you don't have a structured plan and you don't know what you're doing. When you live with our principles and the AAA lifestyle, it's not like you're pushing shit uphill with a stick. Everything works together and you just naturally sit within this range, much like our ancestors did. This is a natural body fat percentage for guys, and it's where everyone should be regardless of their lifting journey. Number three is low water retention. This is something that's holding a lot of guys back from building an attractive physique. Even in terms of facially, water retention is massive, and we'll get into exactly how to minimize this as much as possible. It's got to do a lot with your diet, the way you live, cortisol and things like that, but you cannot be bloated in terms of water retention. It's a massive sign of poor health, and a lot of this is just health markers. And even if you are 12% body fat, but you have a ton of water retention, you're just gonna look so much worse. This was the thing that I suffered with the most, and when you actually fix this area, you will look completely different, unrecognizable. And number four is your V-taper. They've actually done studies on this because it's actually something we can measure, and it's proven that there is a sweet spot in terms of V-taper for the female gaze. And they've done studies even on satisfaction in bed and guys with a higher shoulder to waist ratio, which is the V-taper, and it has a positive correlation. Okay, now let's get into some bonus points, because that's what you can do in the gym and with your diet and everything to do with fitness, but that's half of the equation. Before we tackle this area and how to fix your presentation of your physique, if you just want to get this fully done and tackled and ticked off, they want that box just checked off, we can help you with that. We can help you with that. If you go to that first link in the description, we can literally force you to get the results, okay? We're doing a challenge in December. A lot of you are aware by now. If you want to get to 10% or just even in this range, and you're stuck at like 15, 16%, which is a lot of guys, and they actually struggle to get past that plateau, we can help you get there. You can learn a bit more in that first link in the description how we can help you. Yeah, so hair and face is almost half of the equation. Honestly, it is. what is on top of your shoulders, like here and above, is just as important as your physique. It complements your physique. David Lade wouldn't be David Lade if he was bald with a beard. And I mean, guys, even just think about it. You don't see the main character of your girlfriend's favorite Netflix show or the chick flicks or the books they read. They never are bald or like hyper masculine unless it's catered towards an older demographic. But the chicks that realistically you want to get with are reading chick flicks of guys that, you know, have a full head of hair. You know, they look good, they're attractive, and they also have a good physique. Just think of like Twilight. You know, there's a reason girls obsess over things like that, and it's all because of health markers. Number 2 is presentation. Actually, how you show off your physique, because a lot of us build the physique, and then we don't even know how to portray that towards the female gaze. This ties into dating apps, your Instagram profile, and even just how you show up day to day, you know, fashion, styling to suit an archetype, to fit into a stereotype, which we've got videos on. It's actually a great idea to do that. This is like just as important as everything else. If you don't know how to show off your physique, it literally becomes worthless in terms of the dating market, in terms of female gaze. They simply won't care. Yeah, presentation is extremely important. The archetype that you fall into, how you dress, and everything that Will was talking about. If you just want like the full protocol and you just want a practical implication into your own life, at the end of the video, we're actually going to guide you to a full Tinder video to show you exactly just how to do it. And with Tinder, we mean like how to set up your photos, how to come off attractive. Because if you've already built this physique, you know, the only other part is just presenting it in a way that's attractive and appealing to women. Because I can have 2 different photos on dating apps, and I'm actually going to run an experiment soon. One will get no fucking results, and the other will clean up. And it's all to do with the photos and how you present it. It seems trivial, but if you actually just think about it, that could, literally just this one thing, could be the difference between you being lonely or getting the girl of your dreams. It honestly is that deep, because that's step 1, okay? That's getting your foot in the door. Number 3 is fashion. And I don't mean the new Gymshark drop. I don't mean the Young LA collection. I mean actually dressing for the female gaze. Showing off your physique in a good light. People in the gym are criminal offenders of this. I've seen diabolical fits, and you don't need to dress like this bloke here. Oh, you could. You could, guys. And I'm no fashion expert, but it just comes down to the basics. Don't give them a reason to disqualify you. Women will always look for a reason as to why they shouldn't be with you, okay? Or they're looking for a way to disqualify you. And fashion is the quickest way to be disqualified. If you're wearing something that's just out of the ordinary, you don't look like a safe bet, because it's like, why did he pick the multicolored Asics to wear to the gym? They're kind of just thinking, that's a weird choice that he's making. What else is he doing in his life that's a bit odd? Yeah, well, we're wearing like a yellow stringer with like beige shorts. They know you have autism, bro. There's no hiding your autism wearing that, man. And fashion is just a great thing to get into as a man. It's a great form of self-expression. And if you can really find a style that works for you and suits the way you look and the way you like to dress, not only do you look objectively better and more coherent, but you actually feel better. You feel better in your skin because you're expressing who you actually are, and it makes you feel confident, you walk confident, you're just more congruent with who you actually are. A lot of you guys would relate to this. When all your best gym fits are in the laundry and you just have to wear what's at the bottom of your drawer, you just know you're like kind of a shell of yourself. You're kind of walking around hoping that none of your gym crushes are there, like to see you in this horrid fit. So it's super important. The biggest tip for this is just be neurotypical. Just wear normal clothes. Go to Uniqlo, go to H&M, and just buy the most common item there, because they're the most popular pick, right? That's like the safest bet, unless you have a really good grasp of fashion or you're in the fashion industry. All right, number 4, we have skin. And this is everything related to tanning, making sure you're not full of acne and you're not blasting a bunch of tests and your back just looks like a pizza. It's making sure, once again, that your health markers are in check, that you don't look unhealthy. When you have pimples, you are just disqualifying a bunch of women, really beautiful women that you could, you know, have a life with, man, like for some pimples. You know, same with tanning. Just make sure you've got nice tan skin. I wouldn't say tanning is necessary. It only works really for some guys. There are some guys that pull off being pale. I'm not one of them, obviously, but just make sure you look nice, healthy, lean, tanned, and you will never have another problem in your life. If you have acne of any kind, get on that shit ASAP. You should be getting on that today. You shouldn't try anything copy, like, okay, cut out dairy, maybe just do an elimination diet, find out what's causing it. Make sure you don't have a hormonal imbalance. But for a lot of guys, just do a round of Accutane, try some tretinoin, and just really tackle that first, because you will not see, once again, the main character of any chick flick with acne. It's not a thing. Yeah, like if you have mild acne, just a few spots here and there, it's almost always diet related. When I really dial in my diet, especially when I was on keto and it was only red meats and like dairy products,
my skin was crystal clear, not one spot of acne. It's as soon as I include like artificial products like protein powders and things like that, that I'll have a few spots. You know, if you've got mild acne, it's almost always cleared with diet.
And I'm gonna group body hair into this as well. Keep that shit tame. The armpit hair thing is fucking criminal, man. When I see dudes that are just walking front on and I can see the little hairs sticking out the front, it's gross. It really is, and women don't like it. And if you have a decent amount of muscle mass as well and you're quite lean, you might actually be hindering that with body hair on your stomach, you know, around your abs. You could actually increase the visual appearance of your abs. Maybe a little chest hair is all right, but if you've got a full scraggly like hair everywhere, just tame it up, look presentable. For fuck's sake, don't grow a scraggly beard. If you can't grow a proper beard, don't grow one. I know I've had 2 days without shaving. Do as I say, not as I do. So, confidence, just be yourself, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But this is not cope, okay? I can already see the cope comments coming in. But I'm just saying, walk and talk with confidence. If you've built the physique, you need to act like you're someone with the physique. And I know this isn't like a game video or anything, but do not have that self-deprecating humor that you kind of default to in order to be a jester. Just walk and talk like you are the shit, even if you're not, man. But even just in terms of your posture, the way you walk, the way you talk, just be certain in things, man.
This is just a piece of self-development that you can do and work on every single day. You know, this is not going to be like your typical advice, and a lot of people will gatekeep this, right? But when you speak at like 2 decibels louder in public environments. This is just a stupid one, but it will actually help a lot if you're doing like cold approaches and things like that. Get really drunk one night. I'm talking like pretty drunk, and then you just act that way sober, right? Being drunk works. It works to like get chicks or like do whatever you want to do. Just try and completely wipe your inhibition and people will love you for it.
Yeah.
People love people who don't think and have a filter and all in their head. And I hate when I talk to people like that. So just say what you believe. Be, I know it's cringe, but yourself, man. Just be yourself unapologetically.
Because I know that feeling, man. I had to work a lot on this, and I know that feeling in your head. It's like you're trying not to say something that will embarrass yourself. You're trying not to embarrass yourself. But it's funny because when you're drunk, it's almost like you don't care about embarrassing yourself. So take notes. What do you do? How do you talk? Are you a bit smoother when you're inebriated? And then just kind of work on that day to day to lower your inhibition, not care about just saying what you want to say and saying it with confidence. And if you say something with confidence and you act with confidence, even women will tell you this overtly. They'll say, as long as you're confident in what you're saying, it's like not an ick. It's only like an ick if you half say something or you half mean it or you're unsure. And this just goes back to just being fully confident in yourself. But all this other stuff gets your foot in the door. This literally does not matter if you don't look the part. So, okay, so let's actually figure this all out, right? Let's actually build out a program that can get you exactly what we just explained.
Also, guys, I promise you won't have to watch these like kind of videos for the rest of your life. Once you get it, you'll get it. So you can remove this from your history, bro. No one has to see it. And it's totally cool.
Now, tell you what, bro, you can even come and hide in our school group. We won't call you out. We won't expose your name. It's a nice little zone where guys unapologetically improve on themselves. We talk in the group, we do the group chats, and we're not embarrassed to like talk about our struggles and work on things. So achieving these results that we just talked about is 80% diet. Okay? It's only about 20% training, honestly. What the fuck? We're talking about health markers. We're talking about being lean. We're even talking about growing muscle mass. We're talking about fixing your skin. Even in terms of confidence and just not having brain fog, it's 80% diet. And guys, skip this because it's not the fun part. When the average person hears about fitness, they're thinking about what they're doing in the gym. But I can promise you that will not do anything close to what diet will do for you. And it's very broad. So what is the good diet? So you got protein, you got carbs, and you got fat. Literally just follow this to a T and you'll never have a problem. Like if you're sub 70 IQ and you can only follow instructions, just listen to what I'm about to tell you for the next 30 seconds. Protein. You eat chicken, you eat beef, and you eat fish. That's it. Maybe some protein powder or milk if you need. But ideally those sources and other animal sources, maybe some lamb. For your carbs, it's rice, oats, and potatoes. That's it, no exceptions, okay? Then for your fats, you can have avocado, butter, olive oil, peanut butter. There are other things you can include, but this isn't much of a thought because if we're eating beef and some fatty cuts of fish, we should be getting sufficient fats in our diet. A lot of people overconsume fats. Unless we're in keto, our carbs are going to be our main training fuel and what we run on. So we want to leave as much room for those carbohydrates as possible. But if you literally just eat those foods, man, you just make meals out of the combination of those three, you're going to look great. You're going to look great. Your micronutrients are going to be good. Maybe toss in some vegetables. I'm not a huge fan. Some fruit, even some kiwis, some bananas. You're good.
And I understand you guys have like different food preferences, and that's totally fun, right? What I actually will do, in this video, I'll link our full meal replacement cookbook. So essentially you'll get like all the foods you like, and then we essentially just replace them with like the same macros, but a better quality version of it. So you'll get like a list of like 100 foods, and then the replacement that's actually healthy and good for you, and it's a whole food.
But I'll tell you what, I am kind of just sick of coping with this, even with the clients. They want us to just give them some magic pill in terms of their diet. They want us to create them the most complex thing in order to suit their palate and what they want to eat. Grow the fuck up. Seriously, grow up and just eat normal food. Who doesn't have a palate for, I'm gonna try not to crash out. Who doesn't have a palate for chicken, beef, and rice? Or potatoes? Just learn to cook. Put a little bit of spices on there, man, some chili sauce, some low-fat mayo or something like that. You can make great meals. I look so forward to eat my chicken and rice. Because when the average person hears like these foods, they see them as health foods, man. It doesn't make any fucking sense. These are normal foods. These are the essential like normal sources of—
This is food. That's what food is.
That's it. I want you to start seeing packaged stuff in the shop, anything with a wrapper on it, anything not found in nature, as inedible, as not food. Because I don't see it as food. I just see it as like a bad decision. I see it as, that's not a part of my diet. Maybe I will slip up after gym. I've got these cravings and okay, I'm not perfect. I give in, I'm human. Okay, sometimes I'll get a little bit of a Biscoff cake. Holy fuck, that's good. But really just, this is your source of nutrition, okay?
Yeah. We're not like attacking you because you buy shit food. We slip up too, right? And yeah, you can occasionally do it and still look good. But we beat ourselves up as much as we're going to beat you up about it, trust me.
It's honestly like a limiting belief thing. I just want you to start seeing this as normal eating. That's normal eating, okay? Like even your friends, maybe your parents, your family, when you go out to eat and they see you eating like this, they'll call you weird or you'll feel weird, and it makes no sense to me, man. This is normal eating, okay? In most parts of the world it is, but it's only the West where this is like a diet. This isn't a diet. This is how we want to eat if we want to be attractive. It is so simple, okay? No exceptions there. Okay, now training doesn't need to be complicated. I like to just go by like a simple rule of, you can go 3 times a week, you can go 4 times a week, or 6 times a week. Okay, pick one, whatever suits your life, and whatever you enjoy to do most. 3 times a week can be full body, 4 times a week can be upper lower, and 6 times a week is the push-pull leg split that most people love.
And for fuck's sake, all of them are optimal for muscle growth. There is no magical split to morph into Chris Bumstead himself. It's all gonna work. Just push yourself with intensity, go into the gym with intent, like I always talk about, and you're gonna grow the exact same with all the splits.
I'm just gonna write it in bold writing so you can stare at it for the rest of the video as well. Intensity is what's actually gonna change your physique, okay? I don't really see anyone but the big guys training with intensity. Funny that. It's funny how the biggest guys always seem to just be pushing themselves fucking insanely hard in the gym.
I actually overheard a conversation the other day at the gym, a bunch of guys talking about how pushing yourself to failure is a scam. They were talking amongst themselves. I'm looking at them, I'm like, bro, your bicep is 11 inches. No hate, but like, how can pushing yourself to a failure be cope or be a scam? That is the only way you're gonna grow, bro, properly grow.
It's such a reach, man. A lot of this shit is just basic pattern recognition. If you can just take it back to like your childhood learning experiences, being pattern recognition, you do a lot better in life. Like even in terms of the topic of the video, building a female gaze physique. Well, let's look at who's walking around with the most attractive females. Have it like, just look for some similarities, have some pattern recognition and go, I might try to just copy this guy. Not do anything out of the ordinary, okay? And bonus round, if you want a tan, you can fake tan, don't be afraid to do it, it's not gay. Get the Bondi Sands 1 Hour Express. I'm not sponsored or anything, I've tried everything, that's what works, okay? And if you're not a fan of fake tanning, which I understand, it kind of like smells a bit weird, and if you don't do it right, it can look weird, you can try Milana Tan 2. This is just a peptide that allows you to tan faster, simply. So guys, I just realized I forgot the main thing here. you need to be lean as fuck, okay?
Oh, yeah.
When I mentioned eating these foods, it was kind of common sense to me, but if you don't understand by now, the reason I'm telling you to eat these foods as well is because you're naturally gonna get lean. You're not gonna be able to eat 3,000 calories if you really just eat chicken, rice, and potatoes. You'd have to try to bulk on that. So if you just eat with intuition, which is what most people are doing, and you don't wanna track, just eat these foods, man. And then based on your normal satiety levels and hunger levels, you'll lose weight and you'll get to around 12% body fat. After that, you gotta like actively make steps to try and get leaner. Being lean is the most important thing here. In terms of hair, like we mentioned, a good rule of thumb for a lot of guys is just have it longer. Have it longer than what you probably think. Boys, I was a criminal offender of this. I don't know why. I think a lot of guys just default to real consistent short haircuts and the barber really fucks them up. My barber was doing me wrong for a while. I don't look back at the old videos, please don't, man.
Unless you've got like a really good head shape and a face shape that actually suits a short haircut, longer hair is a pretty safe bet. It looks better on almost everyone. Yeah, you just really have to experiment and see what objectively looks better for you.
In terms of muscle groups that we want to focus on, although we want to be training everything, shoulders, specifically your lateral delts, that's going to give you the width.
Yeah, and that goes without saying. Arms, obviously. Make sure your abs are nice and defined. I'm talking like a shredded fucking six pack, like proper abs, relaxed, abs are just popping, arms are looking veiny, nice and lean, and also got some size to them. Chicks love like these muscle groups specifically. We've got like an entire tier list about it and you can go look at that and it's very true. And in terms of presentation, everything we just told you becomes a complete waste of time if you don't get this one thing right. And I'd have to spend another 40 minutes on the whiteboard to actually explain it. So if you actually want to utilize your physique on Tinder, Instagram, and any other area, and you want to just farm results like your fucking Hugh Hefner himself, then click that video right there and it will explain everything.